Welcome back. When is it time to unload a mutual fund? When is it prudent to stick with a poor performing fund? Certified financial planner Paul Fain joins us again this morning with 5 year-end house cleaning tips for your mutual fund investments. And Paul, why do investors end up sticking with lousy funds sometimes?
Well, sometimes, Leslie, I hear someone say, well, the fund's been good to me. Well, first of all, the fund doesn't know you. Second of all, it could have had one good year followed by 10 stinky years. So ask yourself, if I was starting over today, would I buy that fund again? And often the answer is no.
No. Now, underperformance can really impact the bottom line over many years, too.
Yeah. Well, people get emotionally invested in a fund and they can't break away. They'll say things like, well, if I sell, I'll have to pay taxes. Well, if you keep it, the underperformance may be a lot worse than paying some taxes. Plus, sometimes, Leslie, if you've really got a poor performing investment, you may have a loss, and that could be a tax write-off. And folks say, well, maybe the performance just isn't that bad. But think about it. Even underperforming 2%, much less 4% or 6%, over time, over 5, 10, even 15 years sometimes, can make a huge difference in your results.
You have to look at it more closely, more detailed, I guess, that way. How do fund companies try to keep investors in a bad fund?
Well, the first thing they'll do is fire the fund manager.
Ooh,
so
ouch.
they'll hire a new
Don't be
fund
that guy.
manager. Yeah, and honestly, Leslie, sometimes that does turn around the ship, but oftentimes it doesn't. So maybe you give a new fund manager a year and a half and see if they can pull the fund's performance up in its peer group.
All right, time for our fast market facts now. Paul, what do you have for us today?
Well, when you're dissecting market data, like you were saying, kind of digging in a little deeper, and picking a winning mutual fund, what are some of the elements? Let's talk about 4 Ps.
Okay.
The first is performance. Bottom line, how's it perform? Against its peers, apples to apples. You can look at a Morningstar category rating. Is it in the top third or the bottom third? Price, I'm going to say less is more. Mutual fund management fees, we can get some really low-cost management in our mutual funds. Is the process consistent? Did you buy a stock mutual fund that's got 50% of its deposits in cash? Well, that's not a stock fund. And then we mentioned people like managers, but sometimes fund companies are a little sneaky, Leslie. They'll take a bad performing fund and close it and roll it into a newer, more exciting performing fund and kind of hide that past performance. So I'm not a big fan of doing that, so just be cautious, be leery of that type of fund
be aware of
environment.
that. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it. Where can we send questions if we have them?
If you've got questions about budgeting, retirement, college, send it to paul@assetplanningcorp.com.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about them here on the show.
Absolutely. Love to.
Always looking for topics. Thank you, Paul. We
Thanks.
appreciate it.